Hello and Minglaba, I am Henry Zin. Welcome to Myanmar Today. Our top stories and reports. Implementation of penalties for drug abuse discussed in Pyithu Hluttaw. Tourist visits statistics. July update for Shwedagon Pagoda. K-pop boy band D-Crunch's tour in Yangon. The trend in smartphone market. Before we get to the reports, let's have a quick look at the latest local news. The National Committee for Children's Rights held a meeting at the meeting hall of the Ministry of Social Welfare, Relief and Resettlement on Monday. Union Minister and Committee Chairman Dr. Win Myat A spoke at the meeting where he said Myanmar has been a party to the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child since 1991 and has enacted the Child's Rights Law accordingly. He said they have been working towards amending that law since the previous government administration and have successfully passed it through the legislature last week. The Union Minister said the Union Territory and the states and regions have legal authority to carry out child development and security tasks. The Union Minister remarked that there has been public misunderstanding and worry over the amended law, adding that all doubts will disappear when people study the law carefully. He said the law has been published in the daily newspapers for public viewing. Union Minister for Investment and Foreign Economic Relations Hluttaw and Union Minister for Hotels and Tourism Hluttaw travelled to Hluttaw of the Ninai region last week to attend the matters on tourism and investment. Union Minister for Hotels and Tourism Hluttaw said the Myeik archipelago has many beach and is ocean-based tourism and needs to swiftly implement sustainable tourism. He said there is also a need to conserve the natural environment and resources in the area. He advised construction of eco-lodges that do not harm the environment. Union Minister for Investment and Foreign Economic Relations Hluttaw delivered an address where he highlighted that Myanmar is in the list of recommended countries to visit and the need for tourism to be eco-friendly. He said Marina Bay will house boats used in the travel season and garner additional income to the national economy. Myanmar will export 100,000 tons of rice to China using the barter system beginning this August, according to U Sain-jaw, Secretary of the Rice Merchants Association of Mandalay. Myanmar's Mandalay Rice and Paddy Development Public Company and a Yunnan-based Chinese company signed the agreement on July 25th in Mandalay to export 100,000 tons of rice within 10 months. U Sain-jaw said under the agreement, Myanmar merchants are able to export any kind of both old and fresh long-grain rice produced across the country to Chinese merchants. He added that a system of barter is an exchange of goods and services for other goods, without paying with money. According to the agreement, Myanmar will import fertilizer and farming gears, medicines and related equipment, iron, steel and construction materials from China. This system allows merchants to import commodities granted by the two governments. That's all with the local news. You're with us on MI Radio's Myanmar Today. It's time now for our first report. Implementation of penalties for drug abuse discussed in Pyithu Hluttaw. Hluttaw representative from Yes South constituency, U Kim Maung Mien, raised questions on the implementation of the social service penalty for the drug abuse. Agacho will take us away with more details on the drug control laws, implementation and the drug abuse issues in Myanmar.
Implementation of penalties for drug abuse was discussed in Pyithu Hluttaw on Monday. The government and UNODC announced a new narcotic drugs and psychotic substances law in February 2018 to rebalance the approach to drug menace. Myanmar is one of the first countries in Southeast Asian region that signed the UN Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs of 1961. Hluttaw representative from Yasa constituency, U Kim Maung Mien, raised question on whether the government is effectively implementing the social service punishment included in the new law.
I will be raising questions concerning the implementation of social service penalties against drug users, which is included in the recently amended Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Law. In Philippines, the president himself prioritized the drug abuse issue. Our neighboring countries have been combating the drug abuse issue with severe penalties and charges. Myanmar is one of the countries where the governments throughout ages try to mitigate the drug abuse in cooperation with international organizations.
Myanmar has signed relevant narcotic suppression agreements with countries in China Mekong region, as well as BIMSTEC countries, as well as cooperation with the international community. Despite the effort for mitigation, Myanmar is still struggling with the drug control. The Ministry of Health estimated a sum of 83,000 injecting drug users in the country in 2016. Also, half of the inmates in the cells are reported to be the drug users, and the majority is young people, and therefore the menace prompted the need to handle the matter effectively as the national duty.
Despite the effort by governments throughout ages, due to our geographical, economic situation and armed conflict, Myanmar is still one of the 21 countries which US government considers the intermediaries as well as the major grower. The country sees growing number of reports on drug abuse cases and drug-related crimes. Myanmar is also one of the countries with highest drug abuse and distribution, and everyone is interested in how the government will effectively control the drug abuse problem.
In terms of international cooperation, the government of Myanmar partnered with the UNODC to develop the new national drug control policy after the UNGASS. Notably, Myanmar is the first country in Southeast Asia to adopt the UNGASS framework at a national level. Out of the drug cases reported up to 1st June 2019, a total of 639 cases have been taken action, and those 840 males and 162 females, totaling 1,002 persons have been arrested. The seized drugs included many types of white opium, black opium, normal opium, and various narcotics drugs.
Easy access of illegal drugs leads to increase in drug abuse among youths. UNODC's report in 2016 estimated that there are about 300,000 drug users in Myanmar, where only 9,258 persons received treatment. That is just 3%. A new drug control policy announced in 2018, some of the previous penalties were replaced with the social service penalties. I would like to ask whether those are effectively implemented now.
In September 2015, the UN General Assembly released the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which contained 17 SDGs. On SDGs, Myanmar intended to make progress on globally important issues by the year 2030. The president also announced the creation of the Special Anti-Drug Reporting Center under his office to secure and reward drug informants. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on implementation of penalties for drug abuse discussed in Pyithu, Hluttaw. We'll be taking a look at the stocks and currency exchange rates in Yangon in a while, but let's check on weather updates now in the three major cities in Myanmar. In Yangon, cloudy showers mainly late in the day. The daily outlook is around 30 degrees Celsius high, but it feels like 35 degrees Celsius. There's a 100% chance of rain for the day. In Naypyidaw, cloudy, a couple of morning showers, then a couple of thunderstorms around. The daily outlook is around 29 degrees Celsius high, but it feels like 34 degrees Celsius. 68% chance of rain for the day. In Mandalay, cloudy, a shower or thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. The daily outlook is around 31 degrees Celsius high, but it feels like 36 degrees Celsius. 40% chance of rain for the day. Before we move on to stocks and currency exchange rates, let's take a look at the second report for today. Shwedagon Pagoda is the most well-known and sacred pagoda of Yangon, which is also the landmark of the city and the first priority for every tourist to come visit and explore the depth of the country's history and its religion, as well as to appreciate the glamorous golden stupa. David Henry updates us on the current tourist visit statistics and also interviewed some of the visitors, both local and foreigners, on their perspectives while visiting the Shwedagon Pagoda.
The massive 99-meter high gold-plated pagoda with the diamond studded spire set on top of a small hill in downtown Yangon dominates the area, and it's visible from much of the city. Is one of the tourists' first goal to when they arrive Yangon as well. As with the years goes by, tourists who visit the most are as follow at the current time. Thailand is sitting at the top around 14,000. Korea is around 4,000. France around 4,000 as well. China around 3,900. And Japan around 3,800. But the tourists who visit the least are Bulgaria, Sri Lanka, Finland, Turkey, and Belgium, as from the source of the Shwedagon Pagoda Head of Trustees Office. With that being said, I have interviewed a tourist for his experiences and first impression with the pagoda as well.
My name is Moses Bukundi. I'm from Kenya. So this is my first stop. Obviously overwhelming, awe-inspiring. It's very beautiful. So this is my first stop, and I'm hoping this is going to be continued with the rest of the visits in Myanmar. I mean, it's just experiencing a different culture, different way of expressing religion, and just watching the way people hold dear, this monument. So for me, it's getting here. It was the first few minutes was wow, the building is amazing, but it's just seeing how the people are interacting with the monuments that has been very incredible.
I've also asked him for the differences between his page scrolling experiences from the website on the internet versus the real world experience when he come visit here. Let's find out.
Much better. I think on the internet you get to see the building. When you hear, I think the most incredible part for me has been just watching how people are interacting with the monuments. That's something you can't get on the internet. I think that's extremely important. Well, I haven't had as much difficulty. I mean, get a grab and you're able to move around. I don't think there's anything special in terms of difficulty that I've experienced. I mean, this is what you typically find anywhere. It's a good experience.
How's the weather?
It's hot, but I've spent the last 1 month of traveling across Asia. I've had worse.
With the improvements of drainage system, certain amount of attempt being facelift each year, and with marble plates installments for the floor and renovations all over around the year, with all those being made for the people to come and peacefully worship with the ease and convenience. Let's find out from the voices of the common visitor as well for his perspective. There are a lot of improvements at the present time. If we were to compare with the past few years, even if it's last year, the gap of the improvements are really impressive. For example, with the floor, the gold facelift of the pagoda, overall security systems, but the only thing to be improved more is the drainage system. as the water tends to stay on the floor instead of going down through the drains. Even if it's small plastic rubbish like this plastic tissue waste, we should be taking care of our stuffs and waste, while the cleaning department of the pagoda also focus for making the pagoda way more clean and tidy in the eyes of the people. Aside from it, my overall experience worshipping, praying, going around the pagoda has been a good time. Thank you guys, hope you enjoyed the report. Reporter David Tanner signing out for now, and you guys have a good day.
That's a report on tourist visits statistics, July update for Shwedagon Pagoda. Let's take a look at the currency rates now from Myanmar's central bank. $1 is at 1,509 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 218 kyats. €1 is at 1,678 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,860 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 1,100 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 365 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 48 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 21 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,423. Silver is at $16, and Brent crude oil is at $57. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI is at 11,000. MTSH is at 3,350. MCB is at 8,200. FPB is at 24,500. TMH is at 3,050. And that's all on currency rates and Yangon Stock Exchange for today. You're still with us on MI Radio's Myanmar Today. You can visit our website at miradio.com.mm and listen to our radio programs live on the website. If you're on FM, catch us on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. Or better yet, download MI Radio app on both iOS and Android devices so you can listen to our radio programs anywhere in the world. Moving on to third report. A K-pop boy band called D-Crunch is in Yangon to promote their group by doing activities like stage performances as well as exciting plans for the fans. DJ Zin reports.
The new rocky K-pop wine band called D-Crunch has arrived to Yangon and did some activities to get more in touch with their fans in Myanmar. D-Crunch, which has debuted last year, has promoted themselves by conducting activities such as stage performances and fan signs in the 2 shopping malls of Yangon. As one of their inclusive activities, they also visited MI Radio as guests for the talk show program.
D-Crunch is actually a new kids group. They are really new in Korean, so many fans don't know how the members don't know how who is the D-Crunch. So this is time, the promoter time, we can introduce D-Crunch to fans, and they will know new fans come and promote their comeback, their new album.
They have released one single debut album 0806 in August 2018 and another 2 mini albums M1112 in 2018 and M0527 in 2019. In the promotion tour in Yangon, they performed their songs as well as they have very nice time with their friends.
We're here to bring the K-pop culture to Yangon as well, and this is the first time here. We're having this promo tour for this weekend. Today is here at Ocean Park Jundang, and tomorrow is at City Mall St. John. We have 2 showcases daily. We also have the fan sign, the selfie, and of course they'll be doing lots of performances.
One of their friends, Ko Hein Tanai, who came to see the crunch, said,
2019 အစပိုင်းလောက်ကစပြီးတော့ကြိုက်တာပေါ့နော်သူတို့ရဲ့ဒီ M03 05တာတို့နောက်ဆုံးထွက်ခဲ့တဲ့ Evan ကိုကြည့်ပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော်သူတို့က hip hop type ဆိုတော့လေကျွန်တော်လည်းအရင်ကြိုက်တော့အဲ့လို hip hop type မျိုးကြိုက်တော့သူတို့ဖွဲ့ကိုကြိုက်ဖြစ်တာပေါ့နောက်လည်းဆက်ပြီးတော့ support လုပ်ပေးမှာပါဟုတ်ကဲ့
I like them since the beginning of 2019 after listening to their new album. They are like hip-hop type and I also prefer hip-hop, so I became their fan. I'm going to keep supporting them.
So they will have the first promo tour in Myanmar, and in Asia there's a second tour, right? Second tour. Before this, they went into Malaysia. So we also like to introduce them because we are also from the Malaysia organizer. So why not we come up with this group? So we bring into the Asia tour, especially in Myanmar, Philippines, Thailand, and maybe after this we'll go to more. Go to the more countries like Europe. In Europe, see? So want to introduce the crunch.
Well, before the report ends, let's enjoy some performances of the crunch. This is Laura Susan from MI Radio.
That's a report on K-pop boy band D-Crunch's tour in Yangon. One last report on the trends in smartphone market. Smartphones have become an essential tool in the daily lives of people. With high demand in the smartphone market, the market competition is also growing. The trends are also changing because of advanced technologies invited day by day. Hluttaw Zin reports.
In the age of technology, the smartphones played an important role in people's daily life. With the high demand of the users, many new brands are established and new models are produced in the competitive market. First of all, let's hear from Mr. Jung, who is the reviewer, talking about the hot features of nowadays phone market.
Phone Instagram display fingerprint ထဲဖို့တော်တော်လေးစူးစမ်းကြရပါတော့
Phone brands are trying to put in-display fingerprint and it is getting faster. Back then, the smartphones with full-view display were not quite common, but now they're featuring full-view display widely. Since many models of smartphones are entering the market, the customers can have more choices.
The customers' priority on smartphones have been changing with the flow of growing market. When the newly released phones were getting expensive, the users choose depending on the brand image. Later, the smartphone with better performances but with cheaper price entered the market, and the customer's preference has also changed.
နောက်ပိုင်းကျတော့ user တွေကဒီ price to performance ratio ဆိုတဲ့ဘက်ကိုပို့ပြီးတော့ရွေးချယ်လာကြတယ်
Later, the users gave priority to the price of performance ratio rather than choosing brands. That means they decide whether the phone is worth the price without thinking about the brand image. Even the famous brands such as Samsung came to have revolution of the old models with cheaper price to give more specification at fair price.
Recently, one of the famous smartphone brands in Myanmar, Vivo, has launched the new S series, which provides more specific features with the fair price. The product manager, Mr. Kelvin, said,
Vivo ကနေပြီးတော့ series အသစ်ဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်။ S series ရဲ့ပထမဆုံးပွဲဥထွက် smartphone ဖြစ်တဲ့ Vivo S1 ကိုကျွန်တော်မြန်မာနိုင်ငံမှာတရားဝင်မိတ်ဆက်လိုက်တာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။
Vivo has introduced its new series S with the first model S1 officially in Myanmar. Vivo has two series, Y and V. The new S series will be priced between Y and V.
Fashion ကြားတဲ့လူငယ်တွေကိုအဓိကUAB ထုတ်လုပ်ထားတာ
We produce S1 series mainly for the fashionable youth. We use premium 2.5D designs so it will be comfortable to hold it. Nowadays, the youth prefer more advanced technologies such as in-display fingerprint, selfie camera, as well as more attractive designs and colors.
The brand ambassador of Vivo, Singawaisu Kaindin, also talked about what she likes about the new Vivo S1.
အဓိကထူးခြားချက်ကအခုဒီထွက်တဲ့ color မှာ sky blue ရယ် diamond black ရယ်ဆိုပြီးနှစ်ရောင်ထွက်တယ်။အဲ့နှစ်ရောင်က
One thing special about this S1 phone is the color. It has two colors, sky blue and diamond black. I like both colors since both are nice looking. For the camera, we don't need to do any more edit or download any other camera applications. The quality of image is so good. I usually take selfie with Vivo and it gives me satisfaction.
When the market is competitive and provides more choices, the customers are quite difficult in choosing the suitable one. For the phone users who are seeking for the suitable one to get, Mr. Jun advised that.
Personal preference ကိုပြောကြတယ်။ကိုကဘယ်ဟာအသုံးများလဲ။ battery ကိုကအသုံးများလား။ဒါမှမဟုတ်
The users have to think about personal preferences. What is the feature they use mostly, such as battery or camera? So all the perfections cannot be found in one single model. So such kind of phone is not stay available in phone market. So if you like playing games, there are specific phone models for gamers. So if you want better camera, there are also phones with camera specification. So if you want long-lasting battery, you can choose the phones with more battery mAh. And if you like to watch movies, choose the ones with better display.
That's all for now. This is Dora Susin from MI Radio.
That's all the reports we have for today. Let's take a look at some international news now. Ethiopia has planted more than 350 million trees in a day, officials say, in what they believe is a world record. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed is leading the project, which aims to counter the effects of deforestation and climate change in a drought-prone country. Some public offices have been shut down to allow civil servants to take part. The UN says Ethiopia's forest coverage declined from 35% of total land in the early 20th century to a little above 4% in the 2000s. Mr. Abiy launched the tree planting exercise as part of his Green Legacy initiative, which is taking place in 1,000 sites across the country. Officials were assigned to count the seedlings being planted by volunteers. Ethiopia's Minister of Innovation and Technology, Getahun Makurira, tweeted that more than 350 million trees were planted in 12 hours. The aim is to plant a total of 4 billion indigenous trees. In other news, a shocked pedestrian on a Melbourne, Australia street captured video of a fare-dodging traveller taking a free ride on the back of a tram. Hadidi Yuri captured video Saturday when he spotted the man holding on to the back of the Yarra tram's vehicle about 8 p.m. in the Sydney Road area of Melbourne. The footage shows the man loudly singing as he takes a free ride on the back of the tram. A Yarra Tram's representative called the man's behavior reckless, saying he could have been seriously injured if he had fallen from the back of the tram. That's all we have now on Myanmar Today. Drop your comments and messages on our Facebook post, and don't forget to catch Myanmar Today on radio from 7:30 a.m. to 8 a.m., 1 to 1:30 p.m. and from 7:30 to 8 in the evening, Monday to Friday. Thank you for being with us on MI Radio's Myanmar Today. I am Henry Zin. Join us again tomorrow. Have a good day.